What's up, y'all? Toya here, and I am back with another video for y'all. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys either like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Alright, y'all. So first off, before I even get into this video, I want to apologize if I sound nasally or congested at any point in this video. I'm getting over being sick again, so just wanted to go ahead and point that out if I sound a little off. But today I want to do something a bit different. I want to go ahead and let you guys in on what I've been working on in the background. And this is essentially my journey to becoming a medical courier. So I want to go ahead and take you guys with me and essentially show you guys my journey. So this first video is going to be essentially talking about laying the foundation. So we're going to talk about the what, the why, and the how. So let's go ahead and get into it. So what is a medical courier? So the simplest answer to that is a person that transports medical items. And those items, they can vary. They could be prescriptions, they could be specimens, so blood, urine samples, tissue samples. They could be organs, it could be instruments or supplies. It could be important patient documentation. It's a lot of different things that you could transport as a medical courier. Now, the next question is why? Why become a medical courier? Now, I'm not gonna lie. The very first time I came across anything medical courier related was when I was watching Cars and Cribs, and he was doing the deliveries of the test kits from, I don't know if it was Walgreens or CVS, but he was delivering those to the airport. And that was prime pandemic time when you can go through the drive-through and get a test, right? So he was transporting those. And the only thing I saw, I'm not gonna lie, I saw that he said he could make about $200 something on those routes. And the name of that app was Drop Off. And I applied to Drop Off with the quickness. And I think I was a little bit too late because they went ahead and stopped doing those routes. Now you can still sign up for Drop Off. I have tried a couple times, but I have not heard back. But I might have a little bit more luck in the future because I'm kind of working on some certifications and things like that that you can add to your profile. So only time will tell, we'll see. But the only thing I saw was you can make $200 off of that route. I was like, look, I got to go ahead and figure out what apps I can sign up for so I can do this medical courier thing, right? And at the time, I didn't really know like what all entailed with becoming a medical courier. I'm thinking, oh, you just have to sign up for an app. It's a lot more than that. Now, I didn't know this right off the bat, but I definitely learned this pretty quickly more recently. And just so you guys know, of course, if you've been around, you know that I mention my mom occasionally. I do take care of her because she needed a kidney transplant, and luckily we ended up getting the call and she got her kidney. So during that time frame, you know, it was kind of funny how everything kind of worked out, because I took a break from the channel, obviously, because, you know, I was helping take care of her. And as I'm scrolling through social media, so Facebook, TikTok, you know, different platforms, for some reason I just kept coming across medical courier this, medical courier that, how to become a medical courier. I'm like, why am I getting all of these ads for medical courier? And I'm like, you know what, maybe I should take this as a sign. Let me go ahead and take some time, look into this, like thoroughly look into it and see what this is all about. And, you know, I just kind of think about how crazy the timing and everything was, because one, I've already been working in the medical industry, not exactly in a medical position, but I work in a medical facility. I've been working there for almost 10 years now. So I'm super familiar with the space. You know, we have to do training every year, of course, you know, with patient safety, patient confidentiality, you know, being aware of how certain diseases are spread, how to dispose of things properly, things like that. So, you know, it's just mandatory training when you're working in that type of environment, right? You may not be working directly with patients, but they want you to be trained, right? So a lot of the stuff that I ended up learning, I already knew because I have previous experience. I have to learn this every single year for my training, right? Combine that with the fact that my mom just got a transplant, knowing that there was potentially another medical courier out there, you know, someone who I want to be like, right? You know, they were able to provide that service to get the organ to where it needs to be so my mom could get that transplant, right? And knowing that I have the potential to be able to bring that same amount of happiness that I got when we got that call, you know, I could go and bring that to another individual. You know, it's not just a simple thing of like, oh, you're picking up this, you're dropping this off. I mean, yes, the job in itself is technically simple per se, right? But you're making such a huge difference and you may not even know it. You're probably never gonna meet the people on the other side, right? And even myself, you know, I work in IT, right? And technically I'm not coming in contact with patients, but my job that I do, what I do every single day, it still does have an impact on patient care. So it's kind of the same sense, I guess you can say. But not to go ahead and get into too much of, you know, background, but, you know, I just felt like it was just perfect timing how everything just kind of lined up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this as a sign. I'm seeing medical courier this, medical courier that. I think I need to take a pause and actually look into this a bit more. And that's what I did. That's what I did. What I'm going to do now at this point, we're going to talk about the how. I'm going to go over a few things that you need to know and what you need to establish in order to take that step into becoming a medical courier. So the first thing you're going to want to do is start doing research for 1099 opportunities in your area. Because when you're starting off, most of the work that you're going to be getting is going to be via a contract through an existing courier company. So start doing your research, figure out what are their requirements. Every company is going to be different because everything that I'm about to go through on this list, you know, you don't necessarily need it for every single contract. But before you make that commitment, because you're going to actually have to spend some money for some of these items, that way if you want to do a test run just to see, you know, is this something that you actually want to do, you don't go ahead and spend all of this money getting all of this set up just to find out it's not really something that you want to do. So do some research to see if you can find some companies that you can contract with, kind of get your feet wet and see if it's something that you actually might want to do. Go ahead and see what their requirements are and you can go ahead and take those steps if you want to actually get deeper into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do, you need to establish an LLC. So right off the bat, you are going to be spending money. The LLC cost is going to depend on your state. You can be spending anywhere from $50 up to maybe $300. In Illinois, it cost me $150. Now, I will give you a couple of tips on filing this LLC, but I am not a professional. There are literally channels dedicated to walking you through this whole process. So remember, like I said, every state is different. So if you have particular questions about an LLC, I cannot help you with that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go through my process, how I filed mine, and just give you a couple of tips along the way so you can save yourself some money. Okay, how you file your LLC is going to be up to you. You can go directly through your state's website and file it, pay the fee, and be done with it, right? Or you can go through a third-party company that'll file the LLC on your behalf, and you can actually get additional services on top of that if you would like. Now, be careful when it comes to working with these companies. I have seen a lot of mixed reviews for some companies. Some of them saying that it takes them too long to get stuff filed. Some of them have hidden fees. You have to be careful when you're using these services, okay? So the company that I used, not sponsored, but I used Busy. They were super simple. I literally just paid the filing fee for the state and that's it. They do offer other services if you would like, but these are all optional. One reason I chose Busy was because they offered a registered agent for free for the first year. So I'm taking full advantage of that opportunity and I decided to go with them. Now, the next thing that you need is an EIN number. An EIN number is required for you to create a business bank account, and the EIN number is sometimes a requirement for some of these contracts, just like the LLC is. When you're filing your LLC, some of these companies, they do offer that they can file the EIN for you. However, I would highly recommend that you do not, because they do charge a fee. Even the Busy site that I use, they said we can file it for $70. Well, guess what? You can file your EIN for free yourself through the federal website for free, literally. And it only takes like 10-15 minutes and you get access to your number immediately, so you can go ahead and do what you need to do, open up your bank account, whatever, right? So again, I just wanted to give you guys a couple of little tips because I don't want people to go out here and start using these services and they just spent about $300-400 for no reason. So make sure you're doing all of your research. If one of these companies is offering you something, check to see if you can do it for free or cheaper. Sometimes it looks good when they bundle everything up together. You're like, oh, okay, I can just go ahead and get everything taken care of all at once. Make sure you do your research. See how you can go ahead and save yourself some money. Which leads me to the next thing, getting a business bank account. So this is going to vary on your needs. When you're first starting off, you don't need anything flashy. You don't need nothing crazy. You can go ahead and get yourself a simple bank account. No minimum fees are required. There's no cost to use it, stuff like that. Get something simple so you can keep track of your expenses. And honestly, I kind of wish I did this in the beginning for just my own business purposes, because between gig work, YouTube, merch, and speaking of merch, if you haven't, make sure you check out my website so you can go ahead and purchase some merch. This is actually one of the designs that you guys can get. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out my merch link. It is in the description below. Had to go ahead and put that little plug in there. But having a business bank account makes things so much easier for tracking. That way you can separate your business income and expenses from your personal income and expenses. After that, you need to verify if you need any specific business licenses for your state. Again, a lot of this stuff does vary on your state. Some things I might need in my state that you won't need, and vice versa. So make sure you do your research to see if there's any particular licenses that you need for your business to operate. Make sure you check on these, because in the event that you do not get the appropriate license, you can be fined and you will have to pay a lot more than what it would have cost to actually get that license. So make sure you're checking everything, making sure you have everything covered at the state level, local level, all of that. Make sure you got everything checked off. Upgrading your car insurance. So again, this is also going to vary on the contract. Some contracts might allow you to use your basic car insurance that you have. Some of them might need you to go a tier higher, or you might have to actually get commercial car insurance. I have quoted commercial car insurance and it is not cheap. So what I'm doing personally is that I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting contracts that don't require me to have that super high insurance, because I at least want to get a decent flow of income, because having an extra bill of like 500 plus just on car insurance is not really something that you might be able to do right off the bat. That's just my suggestion. I'm just looking for contracts that don't require me to go crazy on my insurance. If I do have to go and do that little upgrade to say that, oh yeah, my vehicle is being used for business purposes, I can go ahead and do that instead of paying a whole extra $500 or $600 for commercial insurance. I am planning on purchasing another vehicle specifically for business purposes, but this is just a plan that I came up with because I went ahead and decided to pay off my personal car. So that's one less bill I have to worry about, and take that money and put that towards getting a new vehicle. That way I can save this car a little bit more. Of course, I'll still be using this for, you know, some of the small jobs, but I am going to go ahead and get a larger vehicle to accommodate those larger orders. It'll be a good way to keep, you know, everything separate. I would say don't go and purchase a new vehicle right off the bat, just because, you know, make sure you have all your expenses in order. And of course, you might want to just test the waters. Like I mentioned earlier, get contracts that don't require you to get a lot up front, okay? Test the waters in your own personal vehicle first. And then if it is something that you think you can expand on, then you can look at purchasing another vehicle for this endeavor, okay? Because I don't want people to go ahead and make these decisions like, oh my goodness, you know, I can go and make $2,000-$3,000 a week off of this, and they end up purchasing a vehicle and they're not landing contracts and this thing's collecting dust, but they still got to go ahead and pay on it. Do not go ahead and make decisions like that. Get a little flow of income in, and then you can start to scale up. So just putting it out there. Next, you have to get certain certifications. This is going to vary on the contract, and it's going to vary on what you are transporting. One thing I will say is when you do get the contract, this is going to be something that I probably discuss when I finally do start getting contracts. Do not deliver something that is not part of the contract. So if your contract says you're supposed to be delivering specimens, and one day you show up for your pickup and they're like, oh, you know, we don't have specimens today, but we have all of these scalpels and this medical equipment and this and that we need you to transport. If that's not in the contract, do not touch it, okay? You are only to be delivering whatever is in that contract. I say this because certain certifications cover certain things. So for instance, bloodborne pathogens. You know, that's a basic certification. HIPAA is a basic certification. And there's other certifications. Like I just got my TWIC card that came in the mail a couple of days ago. The more certifications you have, the better. These certifications do cost money. Bloodborne pathogens and the HIPAA certification, those are probably the cheaper ones. I got those for, I think I got a combo for like 60 or 50 bucks if I remember. I went through a webinar and I got certified for that. TWIC card allows you special security clearance to get into certain facilities, so like airports and docks and things like that. That was, I think it was like 120 something. So yeah, make sure you're checking, because these things, they add up. They definitely add up. Of course, you have your TSA certifications. Like I said, hazmat. There's a few other certifications that you can get as well. See what is required for those contracts. Don't go all in, spending all of this money trying to get every single certification in the book. It does open up more opportunity for you, but if you aren't even getting a steady flow, just a small little steady flow, even if you have like 1 or 2 contracts, there's no need for you to go and start getting all of these certifications. You need to get established first, and then you can start scaling up. Now, after you've gathered all of your certifications, your licenses, your business accounts, and all of this, and you pretty much, you're established at this point, okay? There might still be a few other things that you might need to get. Like I said, it just depends on the state. It depends on the requirements of that company as well. Once you feel like you've gotten what you need to get started, you need to go crazy and apply to pretty much everything that you find under the sun. So like I said, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, CB Driver, US Pack, even going to Walgreens. If you happen to go to Walgreens and you're picking up a prescription, ask them, hey, what company do you guys use to have your medication transported? They might give you the name of the company. You can call them and be like, hey, I'm looking for a 1099 position, you know, yada, yada, yada. You know, I would like to offer my services. You know, you got to get out there and network. I actually seen a guy, I went to take my mom to go and get some blood work after an appointment. And there was a guy that was walking in. He had a dolly and he had a box of, I don't know what it was, but I could tell he was a medical courier, right? And so when he walked past, I asked him, I was like, hey, quick question, are you a medical courier? And he said, yeah. And I asked him, I was like, you know, what company do you work for? And he gave me the name of the company. I'm like, okay, thank you. I would like to reach out to them and see if they had any open 1099 positions. Would you happen to know? And he said, you know what, not now, but I think in the future they are going to be looking for some more drivers, probably going into next year. So yeah, he gave me their information and I'm going to go ahead and reach out to them, you know, next year. So, you know, just little things like that. You know, eventually you can start creating your business cards. You can create a website, get yourself a business phone number. You know, these are all things that you don't necessarily have to do like right now at this instant. Definitely something that you need to consider, because you want to go ahead and get yourself out there as much as possible. So yeah, that's honestly pretty much it. So like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit different today and just kind of give you guys a little bit of background on what I've been working on, and just let you guys know, like, you know, what I'm doing, what is the next step. Because I'll say every now and then, I'm like, you know, hey, you know, I don't plan on doing gig work forever. You know, I want to be independent. I want to be my own boss, but gig work is so just up and down. You know, you can do it, don't get me wrong, but you need some more stability. And I find that this is probably going to offer me the most stability. I feel very connected to this type of work, and you know, I just want to go ahead and capitalize off of that. That's really it. And I'm just hoping that, you know, I can take it to the next level. And not only just medical courier, you know, you can get contracts for other types of deliveries as well. But medical courier for sure, I feel like it is that next step, and I'm ready to take that next step. So I'm hoping that you guys are ready to join me on this journey. And yeah, hopefully I help somebody as well. You know, if there's anybody that was ever interested in becoming a medical courier or getting into that business, you know, I'm hoping that this information helps you as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, we'll see where this takes us. We're going to see where this takes us. Now, before I go, I have to remind you guys to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. But I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. And as always, stay safe out there and keep grinding.